Hello dear friends, let's talk about problems of Citroen C5. The powertrains in the Citroen C5 aren't particularly fast, but they do have their whims. Gasoline engines must account for the blown cylinder head gasket and leaks from the cooling system. Rubber pipes and around the refrigerator should be carefully inspected. The V6 engine is not for long-term head loads. This can end up even bursting one of the heads. When you buy this version, it is important to check the efficiency of the engine while driving. C5 turbo diesels have a problem with the tire on the pulley. The elements formed by the tire are separated and must be replaced. They require a thorough examination. Operation of an HDI engine can be problematic. It does not tolerate poor quality fuel. DPF versions require the use of special fluid in the combustion system, which increases the cost. Also, after a period, replacement is required DPF filter. The Citroen C5 did not perform well on the reliability test. As many as 50% of all failures are electronic in nature, and things go awry. Pay most attention to the dashboard, radio, and air conditioning. When you look at it well, look at the rest of the electronics on the car. Hydropneumatic suspension also does not require additional maintenance, although it has happened that the hydraulic pump has failed or the system itself decides to adjust the height of the car. The clutch knows faster that it will suffer at 2.0 diesels. Repair is not cheap, so check this part properly when purchasing. A heavy load for the Citroen C5, whose launch was accompanied by a multitude of problems, especially electronic ones, but also finishing. The mechanical parts is the most spared. Cars from the first year of production were either called for service or repaired during regular service. But the number of changes and improvements are significant. However, not all electronic problems or clutter in the first stage of production are eliminated. For safe shopping, go to C5 since summer 2003. Poor engine performance is often caused by stuck EGR valve from dirt. Engine 1.8 16V defective lambda prop. A common problem with early 2.0 gasoline engines is that the engine runs erratically and does not respond during moderate driving. The problem was solved by reprogramming the ECU engine. 2.0 16V engine. On the Citroen C5 manufactured until May 2001, engine dormancy was disturbed, caused by the EGR valve pipe problem. The pipe friction to the surrounding mechanical parts. This item was corrected in a factory campaign from early 2002, a pipe lining replaced and a pipe replaced. Gasoline engine failure coils, especially for the Citroen C5 3.0 V6. Hydropneumatic problems with Citroen C5 3.0 V6 high engine weight. With Citroen C5s fitted with diesel engines and manufactured before model rebuilds, There are problems with frequent clogging DPF filters, which require a complete change to about 4 years. On an HDI diesel engine, there is often a failure of the clutch thrust, bearing and the floating flywheel, indicating very unstable engine idle and speed changes. Occurs at high miles, 150 plus kilometers. 1.6 HDI engine. The Citroen C5 manufactured by spring 2005 had some problems with the injection, challenged by electronic control, ECU reprogramming solution. 1.6 HDI diesel has regular problems with the turbocharger due to insufficient lubrication. For complete elimination of faults, it is necessary to change the turbocharger, oil pump and all hydraulic connections, with the engine and turbocharger. Flywheel. On the Citroen C5 1.6 HDI 110, clicking sounds are often mistakenly attributed to the engine mount or front axle. In 1.6 HDI diesel engines manufactured by early 2005, there were frequent problems with unreliable ignition. To solve the problem, it is necessary to reprogram the ECU of the engine. Citroen C5 equipped with 1.6 HDI diesel engine have problems with broken plastic rods from the engine oil level gauge, which then end up in the oil tank. 2.0 and 2.2 HDI engines on the Citroen C5 manufactured until September 2001, engine or car power will not drop, caused by a malfunction of the fuel pump, copper oxidation of the inner part contained in the tank. This item was corrected in a factory campaign from early 2002, pump replaced. Engine 2.0 HPI. Engine 2.0 HPI. On the Citroen C5 manufactured until May 2001, malfunctioning, lower power and poor performance, caused by a failure of the internal seal of the injection pump. This problem was corrected in the factory campaign from the beginning of 2002. The pump was replaced if necessary. 2.0 HDI engine. Engine Citroen C5 manufactured until June 2001 disturbed, caused by the wheel EGR valve. Friction caused between EGR valve pipe and bonnet. This item was corrected in a factory campaign from early 2002, a new bonnet and a new pipe tube. With the Citroen C5 equipped with 2.2 HDI diesel engines, there is a problem with the timing belt. This may be due to water leakage in the area of the timing belt. The belt breaks and causes engine damage. With the 2.2 HDI diesel, it often comes on with a warning light indicating an issue with the exhaust system or DPF filter, despite the fact that there were no issues. The 2.2 HDI diesel engine has common problems with the engine oil sensor and water penetration in the air filter and the consequent MAF sensor problem. 2.2 HDI engine. On the Citroen C5 manufactured until April 2001, there is a risk of chain braking connecting the two crankshafts, may cause engine failure. In the summer of 2002, the systematic replacement of this small chain 2.2 HDI engine on the Citroen C5 manufactured until June 2001, possible leakage of diesel on the hose on the fuel return line, caused by friction with the surrounding mechanical parts. This was corrected in a campaign from early 2002, revised, pipe cladding, pipe replaced if necessary. Common problems with automatic transmissions are rough and difficult to move the lever. The problem is largely due to electronic problems. The factory was subsequently informed that it was necessary to travel 60 kilometers before changing the oil. Citroen C5 equipped with automatic transmissions, manufactured by mid-2004, problems with gear shifting solved reprogramming. Due to the wrong choice of material for mounting the rear brake caliper, the latter are often corrosion and brake problems. Handbrake. On the Citroen C5 manufactured until January 2002, there is a risk of breaking the parking brake handle. Hydropneumatic suspension. The Citroen C5 manufactured until October 2001 was at risk of failure of the electronic control suspension, caused by the entry of water into a computer that manages the suspension. This item has been corrected in a campaign since the beginning of 2002. Hydropneumatic suspension. On the Citroen C5 produced until April 2001, a slight leak on the hydraulic system is possible, leaking through the return hoses from the front suspension cylinder, caused by improper bowel attachment. This item was corrected in the campaign from the beginning of 2002 by changing the clamp, metal instead of plastic, on the front suspension pipe. ESP system. Restored Citroen C5 manufactured until December 2004. Risk of disruption of ESP system, caused by poor signal transmission given the angle of the steering wheel on the electronics board. Problem solved in March 2005 action. Citroen C5 intensive rear tire wear and tear. Citroen C5 produced until mid-2002, possible noise and vibration from under the rear wheels, especially on the right side. To solve this problem, additional metal weights and additional foam were installed under the seat, but they were not efficient enough. Complete elimination of the problem follows the revised models when a new type of rear shock absorbers are installed. If your catalytic converter crashes, you will probably have a problem with the transmission cables at some point because the catalytic converter overheats and becomes more difficult to move through the bucket. If you notice corrosion on the back of the pot, without worry. It is not a replacement, you just need to remove the tin formwork. Below is a safe pot. The entire electric system on the Citroen C5 is a network full of mysteries. Problems with driver's side, power windows, seat heating, radiator fan. However, electronics are especially tricky. Problems with trip computer, electronic lock control and central locking. The first Citroen C5 had a problem with the ignition immobilizer lock, central locking. On the Citroen C5 manufactured until October 2001, central locking failure, caused by electronic problems. This item was corrected in a campaign beginning in 2002, electronic reprogrammed. Rear lights, brake. Pauses taken until July 2001, risk of light failure, caused by the supply of water to the beds, which causes oxidation of the electrical panel. This item was corrected in a business refreshment campaign beginning in 2002 to replace electrical installations if necessary and to drill holes for rainwater drainage. Most at some point have a problem with the dual zone automatic climate, as the teeth of the flap are closed, which closes and opens and one side heats and the other cools. The service engineers change the engine climate and put in a new one with longer gears, and if the old one is completely correct. People have solved this problem on their own with ordinary silicone, but the problem is excess and you need to know how to get that motorcycle. Some even take down the entire board, but there is no need for that. Citroen C5 manufactured before the restyling may have problems due to poor metallic paint quality. Alloy wheels, due to corrosion, are difficult to remove when replacing. For ease of removal, it is recommended that you use grease before each wheel is removed. The first Citroen C5 has poor front seat fixation, so sometimes it is necessary to retighten the seat rails. Usually loud mechanisms for lowering and raising windows. Driver's seat on the Citroen C5, manufactured until June 2002, the height adjustable driver's seat cannot maintain its height adjustment. The driver sometimes has to adjust the height while driving. The problem is the foam of the seat that falls under the weight of the body and touches the height adjustment lever. Solve with a smaller handle and facing outwards to prevent accidental contact between the handle and the seat. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, and if you're the owner of this car, then share your experience. It will help others to choose a car. Goodbye.